Christina, you start when you want.
Okay, so this is our, I guess the last call of this group. Is that right? Wow. So it's gone really fast. We've had a blast just getting to lead you guys, and yeah, it's just been a really great month, and I'm excited to see how next month goes. And so anyway, I just wanted to start by talking about just tips to hit Success Club and how to end the month strong. I have more experience than I'd like to admit at hitting Success Club last minute, but I've been able to take those tools and make them just make something that I can pass on. And so I kept track of some of the things that I've done last minute to hit Success Club. I think my biggest tip is to not give up. Just like most things in our fitness, with Beachbody, and especially with coaching, it's a mindset. And so if you set your mind and say, I'm going to hit Success Club no matter what, it's probably going to happen. So obviously stuff can come up, and we all have really tough months. But I've hit it ever since my first month, and it's been really hard sometimes. And then I'll have months and I'm like, oh, this is a piece of cake, you know. And then other days or other months, it's a little more challenging. And when it is, it can really start to just help you or make you feel kind of insecure in coaching. You know, if you're struggling, you start to question everything. And I just want to encourage you not to do that, because everybody struggles. Even Melanie shared this month that she wasn't where she wanted to be. And she's the #1 coach. And so everybody struggles. It's normal. It doesn't mean that it's not a reflection of your coaching ability. You know, we have a huge obesity problem in the U.S. I always touch on this. There is no shortage of need, and so you're needed. Your expertise, you're needed. Even if you didn't have any experience, you just being a coach and able to offer those products is it's just a great program to offer. So know that you can have confidence in your invites and just being confident in what you have to offer. So a couple of things that I have done last minute to hit Success Club is, of course, offering the program that's on special for either free with the purchase of Shakeology, meaning that you give them like a $10 Amazon gift card, or you know, whatever. You can make it work that way, because for the program, like for example, 21 Day Fix is $140. Shakeology is valued at $129 or $130. So you can promote it as, if you buy Shakeology, you get the program free. And then this month you get you get a shaker cup, you get the containers, you get the insulated bag. So you really get a ton of freebies, and people love free stuff. And so you can even angle it that way, that you get all these free items. Of course, it's already a good discount on its own, so you don't even have to have money out of pocket. You could it might just be the way you word it. And so I've done before where I've given away a Fixate cookbook. So that's an option. I had some that I'd gotten right after they came out, and so you can do that. I think probably the biggest thing that I've done is, when I start to feel like I'm struggling, I go back and I look at my timeline, and I ask myself, have I really been inviting through my posts? And I don't mean being salesy, but have I really been sharing about my journey and my struggles, and not just tips and different things like that, not even just workout stuff, but sharing your story and sharing your struggle. And this month has actually been pretty challenging for me. Last month I hit Success Club very easily, but this month, you know, I had some returns. And so when they return a full program, which very rarely happens, it's the first time it's ever happened to me, and I've been coaching well over a year. but you can get actually negative Success Club points. And so it would have been very easy for me to just say, okay, I'm done. I'm just not going to worry about it. It's a rough month. But I'm like, no, I have goals and I know I can do this. And so now I have no reason why I won't hit it this month. So I'm not technically there yet, but I will be, because I made the decision and I know I will. So I just want to encourage you in that. Everybody can struggle at times, and it really is just a mindset. You have to set your mind to say, I'm going to hit it, and then you brainstorm. Share your story. And another thing that I did today that worked well was I shared a transformation. I did Transformation Tuesday, and I shared one that stuck out to me. I just went to the Beachbody blog, and then I cropped out the so-and-so won whatever the prize money was, just to make it look a little more real. You don't have to do that, but that's what I did. And then I shared the gentleman's story. And then on the very end of the story, I just said, there's a few more days of the 21-day fix, which was the program that he did. And I had 2 people message me and ask me about the program. So you never know. Sometimes I get nothing, but you just never know. And so it's the compound effect. You keep trying different things and you brainstorm. Maybe you pick up the phone and you call some of your people that you're closer to that have been maybe on the fence. And I think as Melissa or somebody's going to touch up on follow-ups, but that's something that I do also to hit Success Club. The reason that you want to make Success Club a non-negotiable in your business is because you are constantly adding more and more people to your business by doing that. So, it's only 3 people really, but over time that compounds and you get the rewards from it. If you're Emerald or higher, you get the customer leads, and all of those really add up to your income. You also can get Success Club All-Stars for however many months that you hit Success Club. Your first month or your second month, whichever one you count as your first month, you can get Success Starters. If you get Success Starters 3 times, so your first 3 months, then you get a free ticket to Summit. And this is all stuff we've talked about, but it's always good to have those reminders, when you're down the wire and it's easy to give in. I just want to encourage you that it's never too late. I've literally got Success Club, went from 0 to 5 on the last day. So it is possible. It might mean that you need to talk to, people in your family, your husband or whoever, and just say, I need some time to really focus in on my business and take that time. So do you girls have anything to add to that?
I think you're good.
Yeah, all those suggestions are good. I think that, like my Transformation Tuesday today, I got tons of comments, and I had a couple people actually message me because of her transformation. So, sometimes that feels salesy, or it feels just like kind of silly to do a Transformation Tuesday. But I promise that like Transformation Tuesdays are one of the biggest ways that I find challengers, because you're telling a true story, about somebody who has done these programs in Shakeology. They haven't taken a pill, they've just worked hard, they've been part of a challenge group, and it's worked for them, and it's just proof that what we're doing works. I've definitely done a flash sale. You kind of talked about that, Christina, get the program for free. One of the things I wanted to suggest to you guys was like on Friday and Saturday, you could do like a Halloween sale and, give away something fun if they buy I've done that before, like on a holiday, if it fell at the end of the month, and just really, followed up and offered that to all the people that I had talked to who hadn't really committed, said, hey, I'm going to give this away, or I'll give you $10 back, or, whatever you need to do to hit Success Club. But those last minute things are really, really game changers. And like Christina said, it's not over until midnight on Saturday. And if you want it, you can happen. You just got to get out there and just be consistent and just follow up and invite. That's my only suggestion. So.
Yeah, just kind of adding on to that, thinking about like this month's specials. I feel like what I've been trying to think, I'm in that similar place that Christina mentioned this month of it's going to be in it to the last minute. And I'm kind of looking at, okay, this weekend, what are people thinking about? They're thinking about the sugar that they're consuming. All of those, like, I'm going to help my kids eat their candy, or if I just eat it faster, it'll be out of the house. So I'm really going to be talking up like a 3-day refresh in Shakeology, because both, like, that's a short-term jumpstart, and that's the, like, how do I get the sugar out of my system and keep it out? And then really just looking at the fact that we have basically 21 days from the beginning of November to Thanksgiving. So for people who really feel like that's like, I can't commit to anything, 21 days will get you up to the holiday feeling good. So, but like kind of that buttressing between the two. And that's the thing that's on sale this month. So I feel like it's a really good one to talk up, that for people who feel like I can't possibly commit, they're taking advantage of a sale. That's where like throwing in kind of and connecting it to the time period that we're in right now is really good. Like they don't have to commit for 60 days and give up all their holidays, but they could go from the sugary holiday, get themselves feeling good before the next one kicks in. Mm-hmm. And so kind of thinking about how we could sell the, like really promote this thing that's already on sale, that's a really good deal, talking up that piece of it. Mm-hmm. And actually, I've been thinking about kind of breaking back out my 21-day fix, just to kind of preemptively talk about it. You know, if you're doing a Transformation Thursday, sharing a fix photo or a refresh photo would be really good things, because I feel like those are the two that are big sellers right now.
That's what I was going to say, especially if you're doing the program yourself, you know, and you don't even have to say 21-day fix every time you post about your workout. I mean, you can just say it randomly, or you can say it in a hashtag. But if people see you doing it and you sticking with it, especially leading into the holidays, they're going to be a lot more likely to jump on board and to join you in doing it, because nobody wants to start something and then everybody fall off. But if they see, you know, you, Anna, you know, you're doing your workouts every single day, you're talking about staying on track even through the holidays, and, you know, people are going to be a lot more likely to join you in doing that, you know, than if they don't see you doing it. So if you're doing the 21-day fix or the 21-day fix extreme, you know, and that's the program that's on sale, and like Melissa said, there's 21 days until Thanksgiving, you know, there's plenty of reason for them to join you in doing that.
Yeah. Okay, should we move on to follow-ups? So I think we talked the past couple of weeks about inviting and how to invite, and, you know, inviting on your kind of in your general posts, and then also really kind of talking about how do you invite one-on-one in those conversations. And so I think initially that's that first step, is getting comfortable with the invite. The piece that took me a little longer to figure out, but is really so critical, is the follow-up. And I think part of it, just in terms of getting comfortable with it, is a psychological piece of, initially for me, inviting felt really intrusive. Like, I'm going to bother somebody if I write to them and ask them to do this thing with me. And so once you've gotten to that place where you really, like, kind of reframe how you think about it, that you're not pestering somebody, you're offering them an opportunity and a gift that has really worked for you and a chance to join you doing this thing, that's the first step. The second step is to realize you need to sometimes follow up with people more than once. And to realize that you're not annoying people is, you just kind of, some of it's just getting over your own sense of fear around that. Because if you think about how many times a day do you check your email or you check your messages and you're like, oh yeah, I got to go back to that later. And then life gets in the way. The kids start screaming. You wind up getting distracted by the 40,000 other things we do in a day without remembering to cycle back. It happens so often. And so what I've really found is that with invites, especially with Facebook messages, people check their messages on their phone. They're standing in line at the grocery store. They're doing something else and multitasking. They'll check their messages. Once it's opened, it's no longer flagged, and it's like falls completely off the radar. So more than half the time, people see it. They're not going to look at it and read and be like, oh, this person's annoying me. They'll see it. They'll note it. It's one of those, I'm not going to respond in this moment. I'll do it later. And it very often doesn't happen. So you following up puts it back on the radar. And honestly, if somebody doesn't want to do it, they're going to ignore you. That's their prerogative. And it's no skin off your back. And very often what I'll find is I get a response on that follow-up. I don't get as many responses on that initial unless somebody's sitting at their computer and has the time and the bandwidth to reply. You get much more response on the follow-ups. And so it took me a really long time to do that, partly because I was busy and trying to get everything under my belt to start. But it was so much of it was the confidence piece of the not wanting to pester people, not wanting to be perceived as nagging them. And what I've really kind of had to do is tell myself I'm not nagging. I'm going to give them I'm going to write them that once, and I'm going to follow up once. And if I don't hear from them, I let it go. I put them on a list. I check back in with them in a couple months. And I won't check in with somebody every single month and harass them. But I might say 2 months from now, I might circle back and be like, hey, I wrote over the summer. I know summer's really crazy. How you doing with this fall? Any interest in joining? This is what I'm doing. So I give it a little bit of time, and then I'll circle back. If somebody responds, not right now, now's not a good time, I will write back to them and say, totally get it. Would you be interested in me checking in with you next month? I run groups like this every month. Can I send you a message next month, let you know what I have on tap? And very often people will write back and be like, yes, that sounds great. Or if they're really not in the right place, they might say, winter would be better. But then at least you have some response from them. It opens up a door for you to continue a conversation later. If somebody completely ignores you, again, I give it a little bit of time, try again. But realizing that generally speaking, people are not going to be annoyed about you asking. And if you're coming at it from a genuine place, in a place that isn't salesy, where you're doing something in your initial invite to connect with them, to talk about, I love the pictures of your kids, or, something about your life that feels genuine, to build that connection, they're not going to look at it as a sales call. So your following up on that isn't going to come off as you trying to get something from them. So really realizing that you need to kind of do follow-ups, and frankly, come up with a system for your follow-ups is really helpful. So for me, it's 3 days. So I don't invite every single day. So for me, I do batches of 20 every couple days. And so it's easier for me to keep track, because what I find is I don't have as much consistent time every day to work. So what I'll do is, Monday nights, if I'm sitting down, I'm going to be on our team call, I will do 20 invites on Monday night. And then I know for me, that means when I come back on and I invite again, I'm going to invite again on Wednesday or Thursday. And once I've done my invites, I do my follow-ups. And so it's easier for me to say Monday and Thursday, and then again on Sunday mornings are my days that I do invites and follow-ups. And so I just go right back through my whole list of who did I contact last time, who did I not hear back from, and I do them all in one fell swoop. If you're somebody who does it every day, if you're inviting 3 people every day, give it a couple, come up with something, pen and paper or a spreadsheet or whatever it is that works best for you, and track who you're talking to, and give it the 2 to 3 days, and then follow back up. And then just kind of check him off your list. If it's a next month, you need to kind of keep track of that. And that's depending on style, you got to figure out what works for you. So for me, part of the follow-ups is that initial follow-up of I've invited you on Monday, I'm going to come back and check in with you again on Wednesday or Thursday. But it's also when that person says to you, not this month, but check in with me in 2 months, remembering that person, that you had that conversation in the first place, and that person wants you to check back in. I am definitely somebody who's very Google Doc lover, that's my thing. But when it comes to follow-ups and conversations, I do better with paper. So I am definitely a binder girl. So this is my binder. I have a little old regular thing. Each tab is a different month. And what I literally do is every single month, I labeled all my months for the whole year. And I have my first page is October follow-ups, November follow-ups. And so if I talk to somebody, I talked to somebody back in January and they're like, I'm having a baby and I'm due in September, check in with me in November. There's no way from January to November, I'm going to remember that I talked to so-and-so and they were ready to come into a challenge group. But when I flip to November, I'm looking at it oh, yeah, Emma, I need to check in with her this month. So it gives me that visual cueing that I need. And for the longer term, does really, really help. So having some sort of system where you keep track. Initially, I did it all in Facebook Message and I just scroll back through. But a couple months in, you're going to find your Facebook Messenger is not the best way to keep track of conversations and follow-ups when you're approaching more people. So I'd say that my 2 kind of big, huge tips are, now that you're comfortable with invites, coming up with a policy for yourself, a rule around every 2 or 3 days will be my follow-ups. to that initial conversation, and then some sort of system, coming up with something, whether it's just pen and paper or something on a spreadsheet about when you need to follow up longer term beyond that 2-3 day window. And realizing that that's something that takes a little bit of practice. You got to kind of come up with something that feels comfortable to you. And if you want, we can certainly post in the group tomorrow what something like a simple follow-up conversation would look like. Just so you have language, because I sometimes feel like for me, I do benefit from seeing other people's scripts. So, if I'm checking with somebody and I haven't heard from them, what might I say? And we can completely post that under the call if that's useful to people. But I think that is a key thing in terms of kind of getting to yourself to Success Club every month, is really not just assuming one invitation is going to do it for you. So realizing that. And then the other kind of tangential piece is following up. Another way to do a follow-up is when somebody has committed and says they're interested in a group. Another really kind of easy ask is to say to that person, hey, I'm so excited that you're going to do this group with me. Do you think you have any friends who might want to join this next group with us? Mm-hmm. So it's like sort of like a follow-up, but a slightly different version, where I'd say to somebody, and I just sent someone a message, she's going to do a group with me for November, and I just wrote and said, hey, do you have any friends who you think might also want to do this recharge group and like really kind of need this? It's great to have a friend in the group. It's always really helpful for the support. And, I do say to people, I do give a referral credit. So it's kind of a win-win for you. You get the friend and the support, and, you get a little bit of, like, I give a $10 Amazon gift card. So it's like really something small, but it's a great way to kind of just say to somebody, I'm really, like, you're following up and saying, I'm excited you're doing this thing with me. And you're possibly opening up a door to bring in a new customer as well and a friend for them. So that's kind of an easy do as well. And I think Christina's point about kind of closing out the month strong is a very easy, comfortable place to go, because these people do trust you and they've signed on with you. And so sometimes going to them and just saying, hey, just wanted to check in, do you know of anybody, is a really easy way to do that. So, other things?
I think that's good. One thing that it took me a while to realize is that some people just aren't ready. Like I would get so frustrated when people said they wanted to lose weight, they wanted to make changes, they really, what I was doing looked great, the challenge group sounded great, but they just weren't ready. And I should have understood that, because that was me at the beginning. But don't get discouraged by no's, because truly people come around, and like I said, they see you doing it consistently, and they see you talking about your challenge groups and your challengers, and then they just kind of start to believe, that it is something that they can do and they can be successful at. So don't be discouraged by no's, because a lot of no's turn to yeses later on.
I was going to say, Alex is a perfect example. So I started pestering her probably in September or October last year. I was like, hey, you just had a baby, you want to get back in? Like, why don't we try this? And she said no to me for 4 months. Every single month, but every month said, check in with me, maybe next month. I just can't possibly imagine doing this. Mm-hmm. And eventually by January, I was like, okay, let me try a 7-day group with you. So like starting kind of small sometimes and just keep offering and keep putting it out there and keep putting out different opportunities and saying to somebody, I offer different groups every month. Maybe next month will be, hit your fancy a little bit better. Mm-hmm. So,
yeah. Anna, do you have any questions about follow-ups? Like, do you have any conversations that you need help with?
No, I don't think so. Not that I can think of.
You're the only one on here, so I'm asking.
Oh, okay. No, I think I'm pretty good. I've actually texted a couple of girls tonight about it, so maybe I'll hear something from them.
Good. Okay. Christina, do you have anything you want to say about follow-ups?
Not really. I think that if you're having conversations where it doesn't look like you're just copying and pasting, people are going to be pretty receptive. Mm-hmm. And as far as follow-ups, I just keep it pretty simple and say, hey, did you have time to, look over what I sent, or do you have any questions? And then I just say, have a great night, and leave it at that. And usually the answer is like, oh, I've been meaning to get back to you. I've been busy or whatever. And then they answer, maybe they're interested or maybe they're not. So One thing I did do, and I don't know if a lot of coaches do this, but I always check to see whose birthday it is. And if it's somebody that I've had conversations with, I'll send them a message, even if it's not, if it just looks like somebody that I might connect well with. I'll send them a message. And I know a couple of times people have responded saying, you know, thank you for the birthday wishes. I've been meaning to reach out to you and ask you about, you know, this program or whatever. Like it was the 21-day fix today. And so you just never know. I mean, I definitely don't like do that first, and I don't count on anybody responding, but you just never know if you're looking for ways to start conversations and you're wanting to add to your contacts. You know, that's a great way to, I don't know, get to start talking with them. So at least it's worked for me a couple of times.
Okay.
Okay, so I am going to finish up and just kind of talk about, you know, this is our last call. This is our last week of Coach Basics, and talk about what your options are heading into November, and, you know, kind of talk about how I'm personally planning for the month of November, because it is a very different month with the holiday. First of all, let me say, Coach Basics, you know, we have a Coach Basics every month. I did Coach Basics. I don't know how many times. How many times did we do Coach Basics, guys? I did it like 4 or 5 months at least, I think, before I went to a Push to Diamond group. But obviously your goal, first of all, is to hit Success Club this month. We want to help you hit Success Club. And we are here, you know, go back, look through the posts in this group. There's some really great ideas, really great tips. You know, the past couple of days, Alex has talked about the value of a challenge pack. And that in itself was something that I had to conquer in the beginning, you know, just trying to explain that to people, explain the $140, you know, read that and just arm yourself with information. And then after Success Club 5 each month, your next goal is going to be to get to Emerald. So that's a coach on your left, a coach on your right leg. They can be discount coaches. They don't have to be working coaches. You can hit that, you know, as you get challengers. They love their Shakeology. You switch them over to a discount coach. You hit Emerald. Once you hit Emerald and you are hitting Success Club every month, like Christina said, you start to get customer leads, which is just free money. People who order something from Beachbody, they assign them to you, and if they continue to order, you know, you get a commission off of what they order every month. So that's a big deal. So those are kind of your next goals moving forward. But yeah, definitely, we will have another Coach Basics that starts on November 2nd. And we will do this all again. We will help you. And it honestly, I'm glad I did Coach Basics over quite a few times, because it took me a while to really get the hang of things, get the hang of inviting, get comfortable inviting. To get comfortable in my posting was one of the biggest things that it took me a little while to get comfortable with. And just going through a group with other people who were kind of having those same challenges and sharing ideas and getting ideas from other coaches was really a big help to me. So, you know, next month, like I said, Coach Basics is going to be available. We can do a push to Emerald, like a 10-day push to Emerald for those of you who want to do that. But Success Club 5 this month is going to be your first goal. As far as planning for November, what I am doing it just a little bit differently. I typically start my challenge groups on the 3rd Monday of every month. Next month, I'm going to start it on November 9th, which I guess is technically the 2nd Monday. And that way, it will give me enough time to hopefully hit Success Club before the challenge group starts, but also give my challengers time to get started before the holiday hits, because I'll be honest, the week of November, people will check out. I remember last year, I mean, my challengers were there, you know, they posted a little bit, but they were busy. You know, we're all going to be busy with family, with events, with get-togethers, you know, with whatever we have going on for Thanksgiving. So people will check out. They'll check out of the challenge groups. They'll check out, you know, people are not really going to buy challenge packs that week. They're not going to respond very quickly to your messages. So I want to make sure that I and my coaches are able to get some Success Club points on the board before that hits. And I'm talking a lot about, I'm kind of leading up to that challenge group. I posted about it tonight, but I'm talking a lot about, just balance, just being consistent in my workouts. And, I'm not gonna eat clean the whole week of Thanksgiving. I'm not gonna do that. And I want people to understand that if they join a challenge group, it's not gonna be one of those rigid things where they have to just cut out everything for the week of Thanksgiving, because that's really not realistic. So I'm kind of talking about things like that, and talking about balance and 80-20, and enjoying the holiday, and still, staying committed to my workouts and my clean eating. And that way, that I don't want to turn people off from a challenge group, and I want them to understand what I'm going to be doing and invite them to do it with me. So my challenge group is going to start November 9th. It's going to be a 30 days of thanks challenge group. I'll probably borrow some curriculum from some other coaches, but also add my own in there. And it's just going to be, they can do a workout program if they want to. They need to have Shakeology. We're going to meal plan. We're going to share holiday recipes, tips for traveling, tips for staying on track that week of Thanksgiving, committing to doing our workouts that week, even if we're not eating clean, most of the time. But that's what my challenge group is going to be. And I'm going to kind of do the same thing in November. In December. So I'm already planning ahead for November, December, and actually into January. But the biggest thing for us as coaches is going to just be remaining consistent with our workout posts, with our accountability, sharing with people what we struggle with, what we're doing well at, just being real is the biggest thing, but staying present on social media and inviting people to do this with us. And I'm not going to lie, November and December may be hard for each of us. Some of you newer coaches, it may not be as hard, but it's going to be hard because people are going to be checked out. But it's going to pay off in a big, big, big way. Come the end of December, and the 1st of January and February, even into March, people are going to want to make changes. So that's why, we are preaching and pounding the 3 vital behaviors, the being a proof of the product, inviting, and really, sticking with that personal development, because if it is hard through November and December, we don't want you guys to quit and give up right before kind of the, just the big bank season. So that is what I have planned for November and December. Do you guys want to share, Christina or Melissa, what you're doing?
Yeah, I'm sort of doing a slightly similar thing. So I'm doing a November group. I am starting the 2nd. So I'm starting preseason next week. We'll do kind of like a straggly, like lots of people I think will kind of jump in over the course of the week. So it'll be kind of like here's the assignments for the week. And if people are in it in the beginning, they can kind of jump in and start right away. And if they straggle in, it's just to get it done before we officially kick off on the 9th. And my hope is like Rachel, it'll carry through the holiday. So it'll get them through Thanksgiving right to that first week of December. So it's a 30-day group. We're going to do the 3-day refresh, focus on Shakeology, and the workout piece is optional. Just because I feel like from thinking about kind of where some people are at, one of my thoughts is that a lot of people feel like it's too much to tackle like a big group. So tackling both workouts and food feels, for some who are just kind of scattered, and that it just feels like too big. So just working on the food piece, I feel like works pretty well for me. And I had some success with that last year. So that's one option. And I'm also doing a 60-day Survive the Holiday group. That's actually what I started with Melanie with as a challenger. It was what appealed to me right off the bat, because I was like, I finish every holiday season feeling like total crap. I gain weight, or I feel gross, and it's like one bump in the road to the next, and I was just tripping over everyone. So I'm doing a 60-day Survive the Holiday group that will start November 16th. So we'll do like a week of prep, and as part of that week of prep, we'll do kind of how to handle the Thanksgiving holiday that's coming up. And it'll get us through Thanksgiving and like sort of Jewish holidays, Christmas, right into the new year. And that'll be a 60-day group. And so I have a lot of returning challengers who are doing that. So I think that many of them will be people who've done groups with me in the past, who've kind of fallen off the wagon and need that recharge. But so I'm kind of trying to offer 2 options. So if you just want to start small and focus just on one piece, you do the 30-day group, and I'll do another 30, and they'll roll into a December group. And then I've got one that spans the 2 months. that was kind of my hope.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm doing a little bit different strategy this year. We haven't done a free group in a while, and so my team's doing a free group starting on the 2nd. So the new coaches that I have going into that group, as well as some of the other ones, we're doing like a 5-day clean eating type group. And then we are going to start, I think, let's see, November 30th. So the challenge group starting after Thanksgiving. So we'll have hopefully long enough to build relationships with those in that free group. And then say, hey, we're going to start this, right after Thanksgiving. And so the groups, the November and the December groups will definitely overlap, but that's kind of our game plan for November.
The other thing about next month is Fall Classic. So, I know that my coaches are on a Fall Classic team, but if you're not on a Fall Classic team, that's a really good way to stay motivated. It's just fun to do it with other people, and there's really good prizes. And, like my Fall Classic team, we're talking about doing, like giving away toys, or, finding a family to sponsor for Thanksgiving or something. So it's just a good way to get creative and kind of push yourself outside your comfort zone, and especially, kind of to endure those, not endure, that's a bad word, but, really push through those months that may be a little bit harder. So get on a Fall Classic team if you're not on one already. I think that's all we've got. Ann, do you have any questions, Anna?
Nope, I'm okay.
Good. Okay, go to bed. All right, guys. Well, that is it. It's our last call. All right. Well, we're here, and just keep following along in the group, and we will, if you need help, that's what we're here for, okay?
Okay, thank y'all.
Good night.
Good night.